everyone. I'm Vivek, and I'll be host of today's session. And I'm very happy to welcome Rajalakshmi for today's session about women in tech to Azure Developer Community in Tamil Nadu. Welcome, ma'am. So, is
Thank
my
you.
screen visible? Can you just add my screen?
Not
Present.
yet.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Yep. Once again, hello everyone, and welcome. I welcome you to Azure Developer Community Tamil Nadu. So, to know about our community, we are actually more than over 10K members. We help students and professionals to upskill in Azure by conducting several live streams and bringing in speakers. We have several boot camps coming in, and also we do have some fun contests which is going over in Discord. So you can join our community and you can hop over to the website to know more about that. So to know about more about our developer community in Tamil Nadu, it's we have 12 communities in place. So these are the cities: Chennai, Madurai, Coimbatore, Erode, Dindigul, and so on. So I actually handle Madurai, Chennai, and Coimbatore. So we as 12 cities operate as a single hub to ensure that all 12, the districts as well as the people in Tamil Nadu get to know more about Azure and also get benefited out of this as well. So we have a good networking skills, and also we have several expert speakers coming in from day to day as we have right now. So what we actually do in Azure developer community in Tamil Nadu is we have online meetups every once in a while. So we have at least 1 to 2 meetups every single month, and we have a very good network of both beginners, professional, and experts. So if you're really new to Azure and really want to jump in to get started with cloud computing and stuff, so this is the right place. And if you're even an expert who looking for some guidance or a certification path, then of course you're all welcome as well. So we also conduct several Azure certification study jams so that to help you to prepare for certification and upskill yourself. So in previous session, we do had certification study jams for DP100, so which is specialized for data scientists, so which was led by me. I do really like to do ML stuff, so this session was led by me. And of course, there is an amazing study jam session going on by held by Saravanan for IoT. You can hop in and know more about that as well. So we do have a good connectivity with corporates and startups. So from time to time, we bring in several expert speakers from corporates and startup to share about their experiences with cloud and SaaS products. So as of now, we have Rajalimi, who is actually from a SaaS big giant, and of course, I'm also very happy to have worked in Zogo for a while and really loved that experiment, the experience over there. And apart from that, we have podcast, which is quite we are planning it for a while, so we'll bring it soon. And of course, if you hop in our community, we do have fun contests going in once in a while. So you can hop in to join our quiz contest, and winners get some amazing swag as well. So yep, the main motto of this community is it's never going to be one way. So the stage is always yours, and you can always hop in to deliver or to learn and network and contribute. So, yep, I once again welcome Rajalakshmi ma'am, and it's really a pleasure and honor to have you in our community to deliver much a talk on women in tech. So, yep, everything is yours right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Vivek, for that introduction. Good evening, all of you. Happy to be part of this evening, Saturday evening. And I'm happy to see that the Azure developer community, the different community groups you have in different states, and the way you are trying to engage with people and I mean, communities really help. That's one way of learning, be it technology or to learn from others' experience to see how they have come along this way, so that it can be used in your own career too. So, in that sense, this is going to be, it's not going to be a technical session. I know this is Azure Development Community. If you want me, I work at Zoho, and my product here is Site 24/7, which is a monitoring solution, and we do have Azure monitoring solution. But that's not the topic that I'm going to talk today, because I think all of you are experts in deploying and demonstrating or having our deployment in Azure. You all belong to this community. So let me give my. That's why when I was interacting with Vivek, what do you want me to cover? Because it's a vast, huge thing. Just come and give a talk. You will never know what to talk about. And okay, this topic often comes from different organizations, or I've been part of different talks where I've delivered the exact talk, but giving my own examples in other communities too. And being online event, I don't even know who's on the other side listening. So there could be chances that they have already listened to me talk these same things. All those could be there. Pardon me, because if it is, without knowing the audience, if it is the same set of audience, I can change the topic. So I don't know the audience at all. So I've done this women in tech based on my experience of 22 years of being in the IT industry, and with Zoho, associated with Zoho for the past 22 years. I started my career in 99 in at Zoho. It wasn't even called Zoho then. And then all along, I've grown along with the company. That's what I should say. So in that note, people are really excited to know how about my journey, and I've done various talks on that for the past 2 3 years. So possibly some of you would have listened to me giving the same talk some other place. Pardon me for that. I'm going to do a repeat. This is a prelude to set the stage. Anyway, so it's going to be a general topic. So it'll anybody who are in their early career, or students who are in the verge of starting their career. So when I was a student, I finished college, B Computer Science from College of Engineering Gindi here at Anna University. So CEG, when I finished in 95 to 99, a lot of times during my career, I have thought, when I was at college, if somebody had told me these things, somebody had given me these options are available, or somebody helped me with, or at least I've heard people talk about how I should be prepared, I would have done better, even better. The life would have been even better, has been the thought that has always been there, because college life is totally different from what you learn in the industry. So it is a drastic change, and it's almost, the generations are changing. The next generations are definitely smarter than us. So it's not that only at the end of 4 year you get start preparing for entering a campus. So that doesn't work anymore. So what are the things that you have to be equipped with? So that is something that which I missed. So I thought I can, that's a way of giving back to the community by sharing the experience so that others can be prepared. So on that note, I'll quickly go ahead and share my screen. I'm not sure if my screen is visible. Is my screen visible? Vivek?
Not yet. No, no, it's still not visible. Can you try sharing it again?
It is saying some steps have to be followed. I'm sorry. Okay. Why is it not allowing me to share my screen? Give me a minute.
Yeah, okay. Yep, sure. No issues.
I've done it in StreamYard, so that was the confidence I had. Like everything will go smooth.
Okay.
So
At the bottom, you might see a share button for screen sharing. Uh, can you click on
yeah,
that?
yeah,
And
yeah, that's something. But it is asking me to change the settings in
oh,
my
okay.
system. So just 1 minute. Give me a minute.
So I can once again. Meanwhile, while you are setting up your system, I can just give a once again a quick intro about
Yeah,
you as
yeah.
well.
Please go ahead. Go ahead.
So we have Rajalakshmi Srinivasan, who is the director at product management at Zoho. So Zoho is actually quite close to me as well, because that's one of my first employment opportunities which I got, and I was interning for 6 months, I guess. So then after that, I jumped to startup to have my own startup. I'm running it right now. Yep. So coming back again, so Rajalakshmi Srinivasan, or Raji. She's director at Zoho Corp, and she has a 22 years of journey with the company, and she has an extensive experience with database scaling, network monitoring, to application performance tracking, and end user experience management. So currently, she leads the application performance monitoring section in Site 24 CrossFit, and a cloud-based all-in-one monitoring product from Zoho Corp. So her greatest asset is the profound wisdom that she has gathered throughout the 22 years of experience. So that's a vast number of years that a person has. And through these years, she has learned how to innovate and improvise an idea, and also how to rally a team around it. So as the team number grows, you know how it's quite tedious to manage and also bring out a product from that, and also to execute to the perfection consistently with the competition. There's a very very tight competition in as well. So to keep up with that, she has done an excellent work. And regarding her education, she has a degree in engineering degree in computer science from College of Engineering in Gindi in Chennai. And of course, she's actually a pretty much a fitness freak. If you do really follow her in Twitter, you might really see some of participating in marathons and also cleanup drives in Chennai, and along with traveling in a couple of places along with her little ones. So you can also reach out to the speaker. Her social add-ins are available in chat. You can see it in the chat box. It will appear in your screen so that you can connect with the user with the speaker at any point of time. So, with that being said, I'll also give a little bit of intro about Azure Developer Communities and the activities we have planned in a couple of minutes. We have an extensive bootcamp available for IoT, which is going to be delivered by Saravane. And do check out our earlier videos where we have done sessions for especially for machine learning, so which I have overtook for a couple of weeks, and it starts from very basics to an expert. So if you're planning for a DP 100 or DP 100 and DP 200 or even 201, we have data engineering related sessions as well, and IoT is going to be coming up recently. And apart from that, I do write blogs. So please do check out my blogs at dev.2/vivek0712. I extensively write blogs on machine learning and basics of Azure and everything. So please do have a check on that. And yeah, so host is okay, sure. Let's give a couple of minutes for the speaker to take some time to set it up. So, meanwhile, we can comment on your thoughts about what are the future sessions that you're looking for. So, coming back again to the Azure Developer Community, which is handled by Reskill. So, I can just show you what we have right now with us. So, just give me a second. We are back on screen.
Yeah, just give me a minute. I'm trying to share the entire screen. Even then, it's saying I lost permission to capture your screen. So I'm trying to upload my presentation. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
okay.
about delay.
Yeah, no issues.
It is still in processing. I'm uploading the presentation to the StreamYard slides here so that I can continue from here.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It is still processing. All right, I think by the time it processes, I'll just continue to talk.
Yeah, sure, sure, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. So, if somebody is able to see that the processing is done, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll keep the audience engaged. Thank you so much. Sorry for the delay. This often happens, right? So, how much ever you are prepared for it, the last minute, some settings changes, something will definitely, because I've done earlier in StreamYard. That was the thing that I said, okay, I've done, so let me try is what I thought. Luckily, I had a backup, so I think the screen is visible now. I've uploaded the slides, so I'll continue from here without sharing my screen. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you
actually,
so
the
much.
screen is available. Yep, we can see
Yeah, I can.
on.
I'll take control. Shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. So, any meeting or for that matter, any session, anything that you plan, there will definitely be some hiccup. So, that's what Murphy's law, right? How much ever you are planned, there's going to be something or the other that happens in a that will not happen in the right way. And it is often said, okay, there can only be one mistake, and I think this is the first one. We are done with the mistake, so that the rest of the session goes in a proper sense. That's a positive note we have to take. And a lot of artists, and the artisans, they actually make a mistake purposefully. They do stitch in one corner of the whatever work they are doing. They make a purposeful mistake so that they don't end up getting end up into a bigger one. But this wasn't intentional, it so happened. So let me assume that is it, and we'll continue with the session. All right. So the session is going to be more like, as I already told, it is like I'll be sharing my experience, and I'll be giving some tips based on my learnings at Zoho. So how we have built products, and being a woman, and how I have been able to do balance my work as well as my family in this past 22 years, and to where I am today, is what I'll be covering as part of the session. So, what do you think is the length of Indian coastline? I'm asking with the I'm starting the presentation with a question, but I'm sure. I mean, there could be different. Many people would have known the answer, or it depends on how you measure it. Will be another answer too. So, if you ask the length of a coastline, Indian coastline, and if you are measuring it from the satellite view, where the coastline is along the all three directions, you measure it from the satellite view, the length is 7,500 kilometers. But if you drill down further, and if you want to measure it going down into the aeroplane view, when you are traveling by aeroplane, this is the view that you will have. This is the view of the Chennai harbor port. So there is a land that is protruded into the sea. So if you want to measure it from this angle, what do you think will be the length? Can you say what the length will be? What will it change, or will it be the same? Think. Now, if I go further down and I want to measure it from a bird's eye point of view, so if you want to measure it from a bird's eye point of view, what will be the length again? There is a land that is protruding into the sea. This is the view from the beach. So what do you think will be the length? Go further down. If you decide to walk and measure, what do you think will be the length? Give me a minute. Sorry for the delay or the interruption. I don't think the interruptions are done. Sorry about it. So, if you decide to walk and cross, so what do you think will be the length? Will it change? And if you decide to measure it from an ant's point of view, every mountain, every sand there will look like a mountain. So, what will be the length then? The length will keep changing arbitrarily. So if you use a 100-kilometer rod, the length is going to be 7,500 kilometers. So that's the original length. If you change the rod to 50-kilometer rod, the length is going to be 45,000 kilometer. So do you think you keep changing the rod, this is going to be changing? It all depends on the length of the measuring rod, the length that you measure along the coast side. The smaller the measuring rod, the longer will be the length. So keep making the rod smaller, smaller. Does it converge to some number? Will I get any number? No, it doesn't. The answer could be arbitrarily a large one. So what is this called as? This is why am I talking about all this suddenly out of the blue about measuring the length of a coastline? So doesn't relate anywhere. This is a phenomenon called fractals. This is not, I'm not going to get into the details of fractals, but fractals are nothing but indefinitely the similar pattern that keeps growing indefinitely. This is what is this to do with software? We are doing software business. So what is that to do with fractals and software? How are they related? If you see the business landscape out there, any business you take, be it software, be it Zoho or any company you take, it's a zigzag puzzle, a fractal zigzag puzzle, the combinations mix and match. So it comprises of, the company comprises of many products. These are examples from Zoho itself. You can take any company for that matter. It comprises of the different products. CRM is a product, campaigns is a product, support is a product, survey is a product, projects is a product. These are all the different products that are stitched together. So, and you take one at a time and drill down further. If I take CRM, I drill down further. These are all the different modules. There is leads, there is opportunities, there is contact, custom workflows. These are all the different modules. If I go further, select one, which is leads, and go further, there will be lead management, nurturing. So you can go drill down like this in any of the products. So that is how you will be able to the point I'm trying to say here is keep changing the rod and going deep down inside, so that you will be able to find what you want to do. The meaning here is the products that you want to build, whatever be the product that you want to build, you may think there is already the competition is doing it. What am I to do something new here? The 100 different products that we have at Zoho, there is competition for each and every domain that we have. How do, and suppose you are a person who want to come up with your own products, how do you know what you have to start, where you have to start? And if you think it is already done and it is mature, change the rod, go drill deeper. You will be able to find out there is some portion or some piece that is missing, and that can become a separate product of its own. I'll give you some examples of how a small feature in a bigger product turned into a product of its own. So that is something that has to be inculcated in the mindset itself. How do you look at it? How do you understand deeply into any technology, so that you can understand, you can implement, and then you can convert that into a new product of its own. So if you think any landscape, any product is mature, and you are very confident, you know that very well, change the rod, get deeper. You will know how you can convert a module into a product, into a suite, into a complete domain. I'll give you two examples for this. There was this company or application called Bourbon, which had all these features: check into locations, make plans, earn points for hanging out with friends, share photos, and many more. But people, they went into they analyzed, the company analyzed which was the feature that was picking up and which was the feature that was being used by people. And they were able to find that this one feature of one piece of sharing photos was the one that was used by people. Of the 100 features that you have, you are part of a development team where you are developing a product. You must be able to understand what the customers are using, what is that one. That analysis has to be there. It's not that something you are developing, you are releasing, and you never know, or you never analyze how it is being perceived in the market. You should also know how people are using it. And if you see some portions which are being used, focus on that, improve on that, improvise on that. You can convert that into a complete different product. That's what happened here. The share photos was what was converted into Instagram. So that's the birth of Instagram itself. Similarly, if I have to give another example, Glitch, the game, it was built on Flash. Nobody wanted to play, but it has a wonderful chatbot, great chatbot. And the focus, people were using only that, and the focus was on that, and that's what converted into Slack, which is used as a communication platform in many of the organizations. So this is how products are born. If you take Zoho itself as example, this is how we came up with the different products that we have. Mail, Zoho Mail as a product, Mail has been there for almost 15 years. When we started Zoho Mail, already the other players were there. How do you know, or what is the differentiation that you give on top of it? From Mail, we were able to convert a lot of sub products based on users usage, and how it made sense to the users. So for as a developer, when you are developing something, the crux I'm saying here is get into the root. Try to understand the depth of whatever technology. Azure, this is an Azure developer community. So when you get together, you listen to experts talk about the Azure deployments. Azure has a lot of components in it. It's not that superficially you know how things work. Get your hands dirty, do the deployment yourself, try to understand. That is when you will know the nuances of how things work, and you will know what is working, what is not working. So get to the depth. That is something that I wanted to convey through all these examples. So if you think you know something, change the rod, go deeper, try. I mean, who would want to measure the coastline by just walking? We don't want to. That's an example that I gave. So that is the level you have to get deeper if you want to understand something, so that you become an expert at it. So that's something, that's a starting point that I want to say. And when you do that, it is not that you are doing it for the sake of somebody else. Do it with interest. So only when you're able to do things interestingly, you will see that you are inclined towards what you wanted to achieve. So covet interestingness among your employees, as well as in whatever you do, you will be able to succeed. And what we have to learn to do, we learn by doing. This is one of my favorite saying, and this I've been following all these 22 years too. It's not that I just do I mean, read it in the book. Every day the technology is keeps on changing. It is, you have to be always on the go to learn something whatever is coming up, and do it on yourself. Get your hands dirty, put yourself in customer shoes and try to do things. That is how you will be able to learn. So with these notes and with this introduction, I'm just going to talk about few things, because I heard from Vivek that most of them are going to be student community. So I thought I would structure my talk in a way where what as I said in the beginning, what is that the students have to do after their college? What are some things that they have to keep them equipped, so that they can either enter an university, I mean, enter an organization, or do something on their own. So that's the second part of the presentation. I've just I have three parts in my presentation. First is about the general, what you have to focus on in any organization. Then about the students and tips for how you need to prepare yourself. And the final section I have for because a lot of them are women, so I have some pointers to talk about, some things that I wanted to tell for women in particular. Okay. So what is after college? What are the options that are available for you once you finish your college? Suppose you are in college now. What are the options? You have there are three options. First one is you can do higher studies. That's an option available. You can continue your studies and do, if you are a bachelor, if you're doing a bachelor degree, you can end up doing masters or whatever you wanted to do. Second option is you can start your career, or you want to enter an organization and work for an organization. That's the second option. Third option is, I have an idea. I want to start my own business. So you can become an entrepreneur. That's again an option. I don't want to work for somebody. Let me start my own business. So that's an option available. So these three are the options available for students who are at college. Keep in mind, you don't have a choice of sitting idle at home. That's not a choice. That's not an option at all. Make sure as a grown up adult, you are able to earn your own bread and butter. That's important. Okay, if you're studying, your parents or somebody will support you, but after that, you have to make sure that you support yourself. That's important. So let me give two tips for each of these sections. On learning, what is that I have to say on learning? Learning, as I said earlier, it's a continuous process. There is no stop to learning. You cannot say I'm done with my college. I still remember I'm sure all of us would have done this during our school days, during our 10th standard exam, social studies exam, history, geography. This is the last day I'm going to study the subject. Next day onwards, I'm not going to touch it. All of us would have had that thought. I also finished school, college, and I'm here now. But keep in mind, things don't end like that. Studying or learning doesn't end with your college. It is a continuous process, because the technology keeps changing. It's not that you can just I know whatever I have studied something at college, I will just be using it in my work. That never happens. In all these 10 years ago, the jobs that existed did not exist today. 10 years down the line, you will never know what is going to come. So it's a continuous process, by which I say, remember this Kaizen formula. When you want to study something, things don't happen overnight. It's a small improvement that you show on yourself. Do not compare with anybody else, because each individual is unique, and each one of them will go in their own pace, which means you have to compare with what you have done yesterday. Compared to yesterday, today, am I making a small progress? That's a progress, and that's a success. And if you're able to do this continuously for 365 days, you will be able to succeed, and you will see whatever you wanted to. You will be able to master whatever you wanted to study. So it's a continuous process. Studying is a continuous process. And I'm sure many of you know this author. Yes, Seth Godin. So he has written many books on business and marketing, and generally how you carry forward with your in for life itself. And he has talked about many tidbits. Of the many tidbits he has given, this one tip on learning to zoom is my favorite. So he says, If you are a person who was listening to a one type of music, try listening a different type and see if you are able to understand, or if you are getting a liking towards them. If you are a person who reads one genre of book, try. If you are only reading comics, try a thriller. Try a non-fiction. If you are only reading fiction, try non-fiction book. If you eat only one type of cuisine or food, try a different type. If you are attending only particular your department events, go attend a completely different event and see if you are able to make sense. All these looks like crazy ideas, right? Why do I have to do this? But he says, if you are able to do this is how the changing environment is going to be in real time. If the organization, you join an organization or you start in your studies too, there is going to be changes. Suddenly, see, we never thought in these 2 years we will be doing so many virtual events. Nobody thought of this pandemic and the way things work now. So there are newer technologies that are coming up, and if you fear something, to try something new, to try to learn something new, that's going to be a stopping factor for your journey. So it's important, whatever comes in. That's what he meant by zooming. Zoom in and see if you are able to understand things. So develop that habit. That's important. And the other important thing about learning is become focus. I mean, people always say, I'm weak at something. So find out your strengths and weakness and focus where you are weak, the areas where you are weak, and try to focus on that. But what I'm saying is focus on your strength. You know already you are weak at something. Why do you want to waste your time in focusing on that again? Somebody else is only strong at that. So find out your strength, focus on that strength, and become an expert in your area of strength, so that people come to you for that work. So that is your specialty. This is a small story over here, and each slide will have a story, but depending on time I will either tell the story and or I will just leave it for you to figure it out yourself. Okay, the story here is, suppose you have to replace this screw. How much time will it take? Or I mean, if you have to just the screw, the right hand side, yeah, it looks a simple screw, I can replace, anybody can replace. But if you have to replace the screw in this complicated architecture, that can only be done by the specialist. So become a specialist, so that even if it's a simple task, people should come to you for your specialty. In your Azure deployment or in your database, see, all these are only terminologies. You get into the deep depth and study that subject, and people have to come to you for scaling that architecture. You are the expert at that, at defining a scalable architecture or scalable database in your organization. People will come to you. That's a problem to be solved, and you are an expert in finding out what is the performance issue and how to solve that. People will come to you. So become expert at what you are doing. So that's important. When you study, focus on your strength and become an expert. And when you want to settle in a job, what are the things you have to look for? Of course, first we will all be looking for monetary benefits. That's important. But I'm saying that's not the only thing that you have to look for. Look for these three things: money, learning opportunities, and the responsibility on job. If you are able to have a balance of these three and sit on a balanced stool, you will be able to continue your journey in a long run, your career in a long run. If you see, even if one leg is not balanced, you cannot continue in that career in a long run. I'm able to be continuing for 22 years because I have balance of these three. There could be jobs which give you ample money, you get paid enough. But if you're not having the learning opportunity, and if somebody else is saying and you have to keep doing that, and you're not responsible for your work, the sense of job satisfaction comes from the responsibility that is given to you and the freedom with which you can try out things. You will not feel challenged at all. Then what is there interesting for you to do day to day, even if you get enough money? But on the other hand, if you are challenged, you are responsible, but you are not paid enough for it, you will not be able to continue. So look for a balance and sit on a balanced stool. And when you are preparing for your career, or when you are preparing for your job, it's important for you to identify what you want to become. Possibly if you're a student who's in your first year, second year, third year, or final year, wherever you are, and whatever stream you are in, you have to identify what you want to be. If you're already passionate about or identified what you want to, you should start working on that. If you are a designer, You must be having a Dribble account and having all your designs uploaded there. If you are a technical writer, you must be having blogs and writing, have your writings published there. If you want to become a hack, security is a crucial domain, cyber security. You must have a participate in hackathons, have a hacker ranking. Show me those, not the paper resume saying that I'm good at writing, I'm good at designing. That's no longer required, that's no longer valid. You can lie in your resume, but that's what I mean by show me the movie. You, in a photograph, you can do some show Photoshop and edit, and you can give. That's like your resume. Instead, show me the work you have done. That will fetch you the relevant job you want to end up in. Not just this, I mean, Zoho, any organization, any employer for that matter, are looking for such candidates. If you are passionate about and if you want to enter an organization, you, and there are many streams for that matter. It's not only development as a stream. Even at a software company, there are different streams. If you are good at talking, convincing people, you can be a salesperson, you can be a marketer. If you're good at debugging, you can be a support technician. If you're good at finding fault and saying what are all the problems, you can be a quality analyst, you can be a developer. There are so many other streams. Find out what you want to do and try to build, establish in that area. It's not that only at the end of 4 years when I want to prepare for my campus interview I will start preparing. No, that those days are gone. We are living in a stage where you have to start preparing once you fix what you want to do. So that's what I mean by show me the movie. And this is another thing where I lead more than lag. What I say here is the art of time management. This is something that if you learn early in your career, you will definitely be able to feel success. Any projects we have, how much ever we take into consideration and define deadlines, there are going to be delays. We have to accept that. How much ever we prepare and plan, there will definitely be delays. But what is more important is communicating that well in advance. You know your project is going to be delayed by 2 days. Don't go and tell in the last minute that it's going to be delayed by 2 days. You tell 2 days in advance that there is going to be a delay. That's what I mean by lead more than the lag. People will understand. There are the customers or your manager or whoever it is, they are human beings. You give them the correct advance notice of why it is going to be delayed and what is the delay, people will understand. Not in the last minute. This is applicable even for your college projects, could be anything. Don't come and tell me in the last minute. Yeah, we have planned for all those things, but still there is a delay. Tell in advance. That's the time management that has you have to learn. And once you learn, the earlier you learn that in your career, you can see that being implemented in your career in a correct way. So that's something that's crucial. And when I want to talk about starting your own business, one of the important criteria is it's not only for starting your business, it is important for even working in an organization, but learning to work in cooperation. From school, from college days, we have all been used to competing and comparing with each other. Learning in cooperation is important. I talked about 5 different streams. Any organization, you want to start your own business, you have to have all these people, and all of them have to be aligned with the same thought as yours so that you're all working towards your end goal. If you're going to compete with yourself, the competition is outside with another vendor, not among yourself. So, learning to work in cooperation, keeping aside your personal ego, is an important criteria when you want to start a business with your small group of people. It's important in work environment too. And this you will find in the longer run. This is important in your career, and it's important when you start your business or in your entrepreneurial journey too. Trusting in people. So as you become manager, as you grow in your career, or if you are the owner of a business and you have people, you just allocate the work to them. Don't be following up and every day asking for status, or how much time they're spending in their system, in front of the system, in their seat, versus what is the break they are taking. Don't do micromanagement. That is something that people don't want. Everybody are adult human beings. Managing another human being, managing another person, adult person by another person, is not required. Just tell them what is the work, and they can have their own way of doing it. You want the end result, that's all is required. Leave it to them. So trusting and delegating work is important. Do not do micromanagement. That is not going to scale in your entrepreneurial journey. And this is something that we often I want you to keep in mind if you want to start your business. The what do I start with? The what is that fire in the belly moment which I'm focused on? Is people might have a problem identifying, in which case you remember these 3 points. So what is that one thing I cannot sleep without achieving it? Nobody else is, I'm always thinking about it, I'm not even able to sleep, and nobody else is going to do it for me. I will be the only person who can do this. And I draw immense pleasure by doing that work and completing that work. So that is your sweet spot. And that's what I called as the personal itch. So find out that spot, and that will be your starting point for your entrepreneurial journey. So these are the three points that I wanted to talk about. What is after college, be it for studies or for your career, settling in a job, or if you want to start a business of your own. Now moving on to the last section, being a woman. There could be girl students, or who are in their early in their career in a job working in an organization. So how, what is that you have to balance, or how do you think you will be able to balance? This question often comes to me. How are you able to balance both work and family? And it is not just for women. The ages are changing now. Even for a man, it's important for you to balance work and your family. So in that sense, it's applicable for both. But there are certain areas where women feel little unable to balance. That two things were there. I think the first one is, it was during my age 20 years ago. So during a marriage, do I continue my job? That's no longer a breaking point now. But the second point of motherhood, it's important. And that is sometime where people get a dilemma of how and what to do. How am I able to do balance both? The guilt feeling of, I think that comes to women naturally. Am I doing my work properly in both the places, be at home or be it at office? So that I've gone through those phases too. So how did I overcome, or what did I do, is something that I would be sharing here. And that particular segment possibly might be only for women. Otherwise, even that today men have to equally share and take care of the children. Anyway, so that there is one, it can be considered as 51-49%. There is that 1% higher on the other side for women. So let me say how it can be done, or how I was able to do it. So that's what I'll be covering here. First thing that I say is, I mean, it is often said, or women by nature they feel proud about doing multitasking. I can do everything. I can do my work at home. I can do my I can do the cooking. I can do, or I can take care of my children. I can take care of my parents. I can take care of my job. I can attend to customer calls. I'm happy doing this from morning 4 o'clock to night 11 o'clock. I would say, please don't do that. I know multitasking is good. We are all good at doing it, but how long you will be able to do that is the question. Once you start doing it, people leave it to you, or that becomes a norm. People expect you to do that. Instead, learn the art of delegation. That's crucial. I say this to many people, and many people have been like, what is the advice that you're giving to your fellow women? It's okay. That's what I do. So I just that's how I've been able to balance. That's one of the reasons. All these are my own personal examples and my own personal reasons that I'm sharing with everyone. So the point I'm trying to say here is, yeah, you can do everything from morning till night and feel happy about it. But how long is the question? Once you start, everybody would expect the same level at all places, be it at work or at home. So make sure you prioritize what is your requirement, and accordingly delegate the other works. It's okay. If somebody is asking for something, give it to them. Let them do it by themselves, both at work as well as at home. Prioritization is important. To give a personal example, I have 3 children. So when my elder daughter is in two daughter and a son. My elder daughter is in 12th. So I'm second daughter is in 10th. What I'm trying to say here is, when my elder daughter was born, I stopped cooking. It doesn't mean that I don't know to cook, but my time at home, I want to spend with the quality time with my children. I don't want to be spending it in the kitchen trying to find out what to do the next day. I don't do that. Somebody else can do that for me. But when people complain, when you have somebody else doing it, coming and doing, the elders at home, they keep complaining, you delegate it to them. I don't want to do that, that's all. And you must learn the art of delegation, not in a fightful manner, but in a convincing, happy tone. Be clear on what you can do and set your boundaries clearly. That will fetch you a long run. You will have your own time as well, so that you can balance it. So yeah, multitasking is important. Multitasking we are good at, but I'm saying delegate it. Prioritize. Same thing at work. Prioritize. See what you want to do. What is that you can do? Take that, define that clearly. So that's something that is I have been practicing. I wish others are also able to do that. And accepting challenges. This is also a drawback of few women. I'm maybe possibly all that I'm saying are, you can consider me as 2 generation. It could be 2 generation old. Because I am 22-year experienced in this field. People who are starting their career might feel like, wow, what this auntie is giving old time advices. But based on my experience, I'm saying possibly this generation, the kids are smart enough and they accept challenge. I'm happy about it. But during my days, it has been a habit that, oh, I don't know this technology. If I have to rewrite the entire client using a single page application that has come up as a newer technology using Angular JS, I don't know. So I will not. And if that opportunity is put up open in the table for you to pick up, no, I don't know. Let me learn first, get expertise, and then I will accept the job. That I have seen my age people doing it. Or I have even seen that 10 years ago there, if you take it as 2 generation people doing it, don't do that. All that I'm saying is, it is a new technology. It's new for everybody. So if somebody else is able to do, you can also do it. Accept the challenge and learn what it is. And all these will come, the starting point I said, get to the depth of what is the technology. And it's not that you're done with your learning. You must be always on the go, learning new things as things come along. That's important. If you have that as a personal habit, and if you're able to cultivate that characteristic, you can even if you fail, it is okay. We can correct and we can move on. So that is important. Accepting challenges, sometimes people don't do. I say it is okay, accept and get the help from others. This also we won't do. We want to become expert ourselves, learn everything on myself. I want to learn everything and become an expert myself. I don't want to go and ask somebody else, purely because of the fear, what will the other person think. What they will think, you don't know even this. That's the thought they will have. So I don't want to give that feeling. Let me hide that, and let me try to do everything myself. Please don't do. It's okay to ask help, only if we ask. And importantly, it is okay to accept it to the next generation. Yeah, the next generation are smarter than what I am. I don't know this technology. Please teach me. I'm willing to learn along with you, without any ego. Only then you can be successful. As you grow along, there are going to be new people who are coming into the industry, and they know better than you. That's how it is even today. My teammates, they know better than what I know. What is the differentiating factor is, I know what are all the failures I have done, and the experience I have carried forward in all these 22 years is the differentiation factor with my juniors who have joined me. So that is important. Ask for help. It's okay to ask for help. And you should have some time for yourself. It is not that always your family, you do something for your family and your job. Your personal time is important. My time, my place, myself. I'll do anything I want in this. I will just sleep, or I will read book, or I will spend that time browsing on, I will binge watch an episode on Netflix. Can be anything, but you should have your own time. And you should also give that time and space to everybody else, even if it is children or others at home. So that's also that is more important. Your own personal time is important. So personally, if I have to give an example, I like traveling. I do travel for my work. I do travel with my family. I do travel with my friends, and sometimes I do travel alone. I do all these kinds. I have my own time, and my kids know that, and they don't disturb me. So that has to be, whatever you want, you have to define. and do it in a nice way. It's nothing in a harm, I mean in a harmful way. And when you take your own, when we talk about taking our own personal time, and that has to be also used for keeping yourself fit. Your health is more important, nobody else can come and replace it. So take your time, do something. It could be anything, be walking or running or jogging or some sports you are into, or meditation. So your physical and mental health is important, so spend, allocate time for that. Again, a personal example, I do walk 5 kilometers per day, irrespective of the time zone I have been in, irrespective of the countries I have traveled, be it pandemic or not, I figure out where I do. But I do that daily, and I've been able to do it for the past three and a half. I don't even, I lost track of the days. It is 1,120 days or something, but I've been doing it. If you, that is something that you have to allocate for yourself. Possibly everybody may not want to do that. Somebody may want to be, you think if you're good at some sports, find out, do that. And if you're good at for some people 20 minutes meditation and yoga could help. I can't meditate, but I can do yoga. It will vary from person to person. Make sure you take care of your health, that's important. And you have to file your own taxes. You have to plan your own finances. This is something that people again miss. You all earn, but somebody else at home will be taking care of your earnings. It could be I'm not saying anything wrong in that, but don't have a fear. I don't know, I cannot, maybe I will make mistakes when I do some investments. I don't know to manage it properly, so somebody else will do that management for me, is not what you should be doing. You can do it. It's not rocket science. Sit and study what is being there, the balance sheet, or how you file your IT returns, and plan your investments. Possibly you can plan it, do it in a smaller way. Possibly you make mistake once, you can correct it, and then look at what is happening otherwise. So this is something worldwide as well. When a survey is being taken, people, it is seen not just in India, across the globe, women are not into planning their finances and the tax returns. Although on those areas women lag behind. And I'm saying, start it from the starting of your career. Don't let somebody else, you are earning it, you have to be control of it. Even if you lose, it is okay, but do it in a small amount. You will learn and you will correct it. So do that yourself. Manage your own finances yourself, and make sure you're surrounded with positive people. It's not, by positive people I mean people should be able to be supporting and encouraging you. Particularly you need to have fellow women who can encourage you. That goes a long way. There's nothing wrong, men also encourages, but there comes a factor of this, I'm saying this as a brother, I'm saying this as a father, that protectiveness comes. Yeah, we don't say anything wrong in that. But when you have people, when you have fellow women who can say you can do this and come give that encouragement, you will see a difference. Surround yourself with positive people, good supportive friends who can help you, good support system, whom you can depend on, whom you can rely on. That will help you to grow in your career path. And give a deaf ear to criticism. This is called as deaf ears story. You can go read the story. I'm not getting into the story now, but this is called the deaf frog story. So what I'm saying is, when you take one step forward, there will be 100 people behind who will be threatening you, saying that no, you can't do it, you be safe, you will not be able to do this. There will be criticisms. Give a deaf ear to criticism, and you believe in yourself and move forward. That's more important. Even if you fall down, you can get up and go. And this story people knows, the longer you hold, it's going to pain longer. But I'm going to associate this with the guilt feeling that people associate. It's often that, oh, I mean, I did not feed my children today, or I did not listen to my parents, or my siblings. I was not able to complete this job at work. I wasn't focusing on that. There could be some reason or the other for which we start accumulating the guilt feeling. It's okay, we cannot change whatever has happened. Make sure you learn from that and move on. Don't be guilty, and if you start feeling guilty for longer, it's going to hurt you more. So it is okay, done is done. From now, what I can do good, what I can do better. So move on is important. Learning from your mistakes and moving on is important. And along this entire life is a beautiful journey. If you are on a in a journey to reach the top of the mountain that you're seeing here, Would you take your car or bike and just go fast and reach the top? Or the road outside, the scene outside there is beautiful. Stop and find different places and take selfies. That's all we all would want to do, right? So that's how this entire journey called life. The different people we meet, the different failures we have, we would have never thought people will be like this. These are all the memories that we collect. Those are all important. The gone are the days where people used to work 0 to 20 years. I study, study, study. 20 to 60 years, I work, work, earn. After 60, I will take a break. I will retire. I will relax. I will enjoy. We will never know we will be alive during that time frame. So make sure you're enjoying your day to day work as part of the journey and allocate some time for yourself too. If you're able to do that, the balance is not just two, taking care of your work and family, it's a balance of three. Equally, you have to allocate time and take care of yourself, family, as well as work. And if you're able to capture, think of the points that I have shared, you can balance all these. I've been doing it. I'm sure all of you will be able to do it too. The world out there is filled with opportunities. It's up to us to grab it. So that's what is important. I'll just complete with this one quote. This is my one of my favorite quotes. It's called as Red Queen's quote. This comes in the book Alice in Wonderland. The quote goes like this: you have to be running as fast as you can in order to stay in the same place. And if you want to make any progress, you have to run twice as fast as you can. So, what I'm trying to say here is if you don't, the technology is moving at such a fast pace. If you don't keep yourself updated, you will be outdated. You have to be running on your legs at least in order to stay in the same place. So there is no point of, there is no escapism. You cannot say I will not learn a technology, I will only be satisfied with what I have done earlier. You have to be on the go, learning whatever is coming. That's how you have to go along in this journey. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm sorry for the initial interruptions that have happened. I hope I've completed it within the time frame. I'm reachable in any of the social media platforms or email ID. You can contact me for any clarifications if you require. Thank you.
That was really amazing for the session, and actually most of the part of the session I could personally relate to that. What are the points you were speaking? So actually, I do have some questions for you, which is actually personally from my side, which I'd like to discuss with you.
Sure.
Uh, the first thing is on trust and delegate based on micromanagement. I think this one is what actually Zoho taught me when I was interning at that particular point of time. It was a quite fascinating and different because I used to intern a couple of places. When I actually reached Zoho, there was no one who actually asked me what was the task which was going on. I could really take a nap if I really want to after the lunch, which I actually did. So actually, I love the way how the things work. And effectively, after a period of time, what I really noticed that the productivity was much more better when there was no actually micromanaging. So at the end of the day, I was able to do twice the job, even though I was able to take some rest or in between. So I think that I can totally agree.
Actually the human nature. Okay, you don't want somebody to be telling you what are all the small things that you have to be doing. You're responsible. Once we are responsible, we will never know how we are completing the job, but we will be doing it. So that's one of the main reasons Zoho has been successful in this last 24 years. And that's something that I learned from my managers too, and I strongly believe in that, as you rightly said.
Great. And yep, I and right now, while actually I'm a startup, so I do have some responsibility of having a couple of people under me to just work. And yep, I actually enforce that micromanagement, and I tell the people not to actually manage them. So when it comes to coding, like you might not really find a solution for a long period of time, and suddenly you might get an idea, and that suddenly turns out to be the solution. So yep, and I totally agree on that. uh, so yep, coming to the second point of scratching your itch, like that was quite a good one. So if you have a personal itch and you really want to do that, so can you come up with any personal uh, story behind you that made you to accomplish something which you personally did?
Um, I mean, I did not start my own business for that matter. So I'm part of the organization. So I should say, what is that? From childhood, It's not that I'm good at, but I don't have a stage fear. I've been always on stage. I can talk and I can do public speaking too. So and I was able to take it up when I had a chance, and I'm one of the evangelists here at Zoho. And it would have I always, wherever required, whenever required, depending on what is the priority that I have to settle, I was open about talking it with my management and taking that wherever, taking that direction. Meaning, I have been an individual contributor wherever required. Where my time during my initial phase of motherhood, I cannot be a team player because I will never know when I will take a break or when I will take a leave, because
Right.
my time is not mine, at least in the initial few days. So I didn't want it to be affecting other people. So I just informed. I took an individual contributor role. And once, it's not that I did not just settle with that. I am a career oriented person. And once I knew I can take full time, I switched to that. So the fire in the belly has always been to be a career oriented. Somebody asked me, okay, 22 years, when do you plan to retire or something? That I don't have a plan at all. I can't be sitting idle at home. And even my breaks that I took, possibly fifth month, I joined back the organization. Some people take 1 year maternity leave, but the fourth month or so, people at home were like, no, no, you get back to work. Otherwise, it was like I was becoming nervous. I was showing that to everybody at home, and they said, "You please go to office." That happens, and that I don't say everybody has to be like that. That varies from individual to individual. And for me, I am that kind of person who's always on my career. So that worked for me. That
Okay,
is my
that
personal itch, if you have to say.
that's actually very good to hear, and yep, that's kind of inspirational for me actually. Yep. Third one is actually the question which I wanted to ask is yep, a little bit of a controversy, I would say. The reason is like you mentioned that you can be a multitasking person, but you don't really have to do everything by yourself. So I have a question on that. So if a person is able to do multitasking, that directly reflects his leadership, right? So do you insist the person to establish that I can do all the roles and then delegate it, or is it a person should able to be delegating at the first point itself?
No, not at the first point. If you must be able to, or what is that, show to the world whatever you are capable of. But at the same time, do not overdo it, is what I'm trying to say. So it's not that that affects in two ways. If you have to tell professionally, you don't give chance for others to pick it up and grow if you are doing everything yourself. So you be available for them. That's a good leader. You be available for them. You know you'll be able to do it, but how do you give chance for others?
Correct.
So that will vary in your different career path, in your career perspective. You are, and during the initial stages, you will wear different hat. You will be doing marketing. I mean, you should ascertain yourself whatever your capabilities are, and then prioritize and work on it. Not always taking everything without leaving place for others to do. That's one thing from the professional side. Personal front at home, the situation will vary. If you are ending up doing things, you are expected to do everything every time. So it will become as if like if you're asking somebody else to do, it's a favor that they are doing. It will turn out to be like that. So make
Ah,
sure you define it clearly. That's why I gave that personal example where I can't come and do my time in kitchen all the time. My time at home has to be with my children is my priority. Somebody else may love to do that's stress buster. I know my friends who, when they do the cooking, it's their stress busting thing. They love doing it. That's their cup of tea. I'm not a foodie. I don't want to do that. I want to be with my children. So there could be compromises here. That doesn't mean I don't know to do. So that compromises will be there. So professionally, you have to ascertain, you have to show to the world what you are capable of, and then prioritize and take it along.
okay, that's really good. Good to hear. So, and yep, followed by one more question is like which you mentioned about taking up a new challenge, then do it. Yep, you can learn it by mistake, and but you should be the first in the room to take up a new challenge, right? So yep, I could personally relate to that. It's not more like a question. I would say it's more like a discussion for this. So when I actually completed my graduation, there were like a couple of opportunities lying in front of me. And what I actually had to do is either had to take up a job, or else I need to move to a foreign opportunity, or there was a startup that was there which I need to jump into and take up. So I think I've already been into corporate field by attending hackathons and so on. So, but I really startup is completely new to me. So I just went and jumped into it. It was earlier it was like a uncharted waters, but later on it is actually quite feeling pretty well. So I went into as data scientist, but rather I started working as an embedded engineer. I started to work on devices, hardware, IoT. Now I actually pretty much work on every single field which is available inside, because as a initial stage startup, you don't really stick to one role, you take up
Correct.
multiple roles.
Correct.
And yep, yep, I don't think so. Like I would never imagine myself 6 months back that I would be working on an IoT device and writing C++ code again. But again, yep, now things have
No,
turned
it is
around.
it
So
is going to be completely changing. We will never know tomorrow what we will be writing at all, because when I joined the organization, all these were not there. These front end technologies, back end technologies, the cloud, nothing was there. So we have
it,
to be studying as things come along. So that's how the industry evolves.
exactly, like I couldn't agree that more, and it's 100% too. Like I don't, and even like I guess the way the things are changing right now are like in more exponential way. So probably like in initial, like around in 2000s, the way it was changing might be slow, but now it's like you can literally see every single JavaScript frameworks coming every once in a month or something like
Yes.
that. I think it's evolving at very fast pace. And yep, that was one good thing which we actually discussed. But throughout the entire session, which actually caught my best attention was about planning your finances. I think I really never heard about anyone speaking about financial literacy in any of the talks. So and I think like financial literacy in India is very low as compared to any other countries, or maybe
Correct.
even as in 20s, like most of the people do not actually really do plan their finances. So do you, like, when was your first time of taking finances? Like what was your first step of managing your
Yeah,
finances?
I
Were you
have
able
been.
to?
That's what, as I say, from when I was taking my first salary. It's always that I plan my finances. I don't let anybody
Okay.
others do it.
Oh,
Okay,
great.
I don't let my parents or my husband or anybody to do that. It's me who does that. That's all. I don't share my password credentials with anyone. That's
Okay.
mine. Okay, I don't. I know many people, they share their net banking or account details, their email password, everything. Somebody else will be managing. That's not. See, it's yours. You have to, and I don't ask others also to give that to me. So that has to be mutual. So there are certain
Definitely.
things where you shouldn't enter. Okay, it has to be that has to be mutual. I say that as well. Okay, it's not that I won't give, but I want the other person. That's not the case. It has to be mutual. And you have to, I mean, whatever you do comes back to you. That's how it is.
Yeah, that's I guess
You
it
give that
reminds.
personal space, you give that respect, you get when what you want, you have to give that and get it.
Okay. Yep. That's like a mutual agreement that we should all agree upon. And yep, I don't think most of the Indian households follow that right now.
True.
Like parents
True.
do try to take some in charge on the finances, leaving that okay, it's money is a big thing and it might go wrong. But yeah, like it should be the high time that people should recognize and take up financial literacy. And really thank you for that actually mentioning in this today's session, which I actually liked it much more for that. Yep,
Yeah.
and really thank you for like discussing on how to really understand the tech. And personally, I could relate so much of the stuff which I could really see from based upon I think my time at the Zoho, and I could really personally relate the values that we all picked up through the management, and also your personal experience was actually very rich. And as a budding people who is into entrepreneurship and tech, it's kind of a very inspirational for me, and I guess it's also the same for the audience. So yep, and thank you for today's time to present to our community. And yep, this session will be available as recorded, so so that you can guys can also always come back and look at this session and take back the inputs then and there and while. So thank you, ma'am, for this amazing session, and we really like to see you in upcoming session when we have some time.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again.
Thank you so much. Yeah.